Yes, it's important. Having that supportive group of community that will root you on and speak your name in rooms that you aren't even in is even more key to building wealth. The way I am going to teach you to build wealth is to do it by redesigning your life the way that you want it to be, not the way that society says it should be. Hey, welcome back to Wealth Within Reach, and I'm your host, Erica Brown, and today we are talking about the importance of having your support team. And when I say support team, I am not just talking about your real estate agent and your property manager. I am talking about your support team, okay? I'm talking about the truth tellers in your life, the cheerleaders, the mentors, your advocates. Those are the type of people that I'm talking about. So let's jump into it today. This really became real for me after a few years of investing, and I came to the place where I had that team. I had, all the different players on the team, my real estate attorney, my real estate team, my property manager, all of that kind of stuff. We're killing it in real estate, but I found myself in a place of being lonely. I looked around and yes, I had friends, but I didn't have the friends and the ingredients of friendships that really got me, that really could see me for where I was at the time that I was at. Yeah, I just felt very lonely and it just felt like I was on this island by myself. In a moment, I'm going to break down to you exactly what that support team is and how you're going to find it. So I want to get into talking about the support team, but before I jump into it, I want us to really define what that means for us. I want you to reimagine what support team looks like. Yes, it's important. Having that supportive group of community that will root you on and speak your name in rooms that you aren't even in is even more key to building wealth. The way I am going to teach you to build wealth is to do it by redesigning your life the way that you want it to be, not the way that society says it should be. So when I was in that place, when I realized that I was lonely and I needed more support and I needed more people around me that I felt seen, you may be like me when you get to the place where you're trying to figure out, where do I find that? So for me, I actually joined an online community. This is my first time where I actually paid to join an online community to find friends. I know it may sound weird to pay for friends, but in this case, where I had really amazing friends, but I didn't have any other women who were like me, who were breadwinners, who were building seven-figure businesses, who were real estate investors. I didn't have that in my circle. So instead of me just sitting at home, lonely, not feeling supported, I had to go out and find it for myself. So within that online community, I recognized that I was missing some of these key ingredients. So let me go through a few of the key ingredients of people who you need on your support team. One, you need a cheerleader. And you know what I mean by cheerleader. You know how it is. It's like something fun happens and you're really excited and you call your husband and he's like, oh, okay. That may not work for you, right? Sometimes you need to call a friend that's going to hype you up and be like, yes, girl. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That cheerleader, okay? Someone who truly, truly wants to see you win. Someone that has the gift of encouragement and affirmation. That's what I mean by cheerleader. Also, you need a truth teller because sometimes you just need somebody that's going to tell you the truth and not just say yes, okay? You need someone who, for me, because I am such a direct person, sometimes I need that person where I can send that text to them to say, okay, this is what I want to say. And then they can read it and say, okay, yes, say this, but try this instead, right? We all need those truth tellers who are going to be honest with us and they're also going to call us out on our own stuff. Or that's going to remind us of who we are when we're feeling down and we're feeling like that we don't measure up or that we aren't enough. We all need those truth tellers. Also, advice givers. I know some of you are like me, who you may have a question that's just like messing with you and you can't figure out the answer. So instead of you just asking a question to someone, you'll just sit there and just be stressed out for like the longest time, right? So there are people who really truly love giving advice. And you may be the kind of person that's like, well, I don't want to bug them or I don't want to burden them. No, having a friend that's an advice giver are those friends that love it. They thrive on helping people solve problems. What's so interesting is that I am that advice giver person, but sometimes we struggle with asking for the advice ourselves. But we all need someone that we can call and ask for advice too. And lastly, that advocate. Now, that advocate is that person who you know who is put here to see something in other people and to put them on beyond what they even thought they can do for themselves. Everyone needs an advocate, someone that's going to speak your names in rooms that you never even imagined that you would be in. And so I found myself being in this place, needing a cheerleader, a truth teller, an advice giver, and an advocate. And I actually joined an online community to help me find it. So people ask me all the time, I see you on trips with your friends, that sounds cool, but how do you meet those people? Because I'm the only one in my friend group that's actually talking about the things that I'm talking about. I get it. Whenever I first started investing, I was the only one of my friends that was investing. No one else was investing with me. So I understand being like having all these ambitions and these desires and your friends not really connecting with it. And I get how uncomfortable it could be to put yourself in the position to go to places that are unfamiliar to you and be around people who you don't know. I completely understand that 1000%. But you have to think about, is it more important to you to be in the same place that you are this year, next year? Or is it more important to you to stretch and be uncomfortable so that you can work on getting comfortable? For me, joining the online community helped me to get out of my comfort zone, which then helped me to actually go to the next level, which was joining masterminds, attending conferences. And then just by meeting people organically through those places, I was able to also meet people online in person. There's a specific situation. I have a friend who I still to this day don't know how she got my number. We were DMing each other online. We're two Black women that really just admired and rooted each other on. And next thing you know, we are DMing each other, sending voice notes. And then that just organically graduated to having dinner. Now, let's fast forward 3 to 4 years later. This person is one of my closest friends. We talk every other day. We travel multiple times a year and we support each other in the things that we're doing. So just by putting yourself out there and getting past what is this other person going to think about me? What if this person doesn't like this about me? All of those things that really, they're just lies that are keeping you from being your best, great self. What instead of assuming the worst case scenario, what if you assume the best case scenario instead? These are the things that I want us to begin reframing and thinking about instead of always going towards this self-sabotaging behavior of looking for evilness around the corner when there's not even any shadows that's behind us. Okay, guys, did you hear the news? I am giving away a fully turnkey house. Yes, you heard that correct. I am giving away a fully renovated house at the Owning It and Living It experience. You gotta be in the room though to win the house. It is November 1st through 3rd at the Intercontinental Hotel in Buckhead. Go to experience.owningitandlivingit.com to grab your ticket today before the prices go up. I'll see you in November. We got to address one other thing too while we're talking about this cheerleaders, connecting, meeting new people. Here is a myth, and I'm telling you it is a myth and it is a lie, okay? Here's a lie. The lie is I can't tell someone else something because they're going to steal my idea, or I can't tell someone else something because they're my competition. Here's what I want you to know. At the end of the day, what is for you is for you, okay? Number one, this is something I constantly remind myself of. I am Erica. I am me, okay? You are you. And that's beautiful. That's amazing. And people who truly get you, people who are truly your people will like you and love you for who you are. And one of the biggest myths that I realized after growing to getting to a 7-figure business and meeting other 7-figure successful business owners is that honestly, at the top, there is way more collaboration over competition because none of us really know what we're doing. We're all trying to figure it out just like you. Okay, so let me just display that lie again. At the top, there is collaboration over competition. I want to see everybody win. Here's a question I have for you. Are you one of those people that I had on the list? You have to be one of these people in order to attract those people. Are you someone else's cheerleader? Are you honestly, for real, honestly rooting other people on? Are you honestly giving other people advice and being truth tellers? Are you giving other people the opportunities when opportunities come your way and mentioning other people's names in rooms that you're in? In order to desire those types of people in your life, you have to be that person for others too. Sometimes though, and I'm going to be honest, and I've been there and I'm constantly going through this journey. Sometimes we have to step back and we have to reflect and we have to figure out if we aren't those people, if we're struggling to root people on because at the end of the day, maybe we are really miserable because of how things turned out for us. Sometimes we have to step back and work on our healing and work on, our hardened heart so that we can actually step forward and actually support other people and really open up that desire in our life by being that for someone else. I think one of the ways that I've been able to really build this really authentic support team where we truly root for each other and support each other is by vulnerability and transparency. My goal is to be myself in every room that I show up in because I know that God is with me in every room that I show up in. So in order to do that, that requires a different level of vulnerability as I'm moving through these spaces. I don't know about you, but I really don't have time for surface level fluff type of conversation. I really want to experience deep connected relationships. Again, in order for me to desire that, I have to model that. So for me, being honest and open about what I'm going through, what I have in life going on, all those things really helps to open the door for relationships so that we can connect with other people and then they can share as I'm sharing. For example, I have a friend that started out being a client. We went out to dinner one night. We met before, and this was our first time meeting in person. We just started talking, and next thing you know, we're sharing all these similar ways of how we grew up and being the oldest child and having a little sister. Next thing you know, 3 hours have went by. We have literally divulged our whole entire story with each other. We've connected in so many deep ways, and now we left the dinner oh my gosh, this person is going to be a friend. This person is going to be a friend in my life for a minute. 2 months later, we go to a conference together and the relationship just goes on and on. That relationship would have passed. That person just would have continued to be a client and not turned being a friend if I didn't lead with vulnerability and transparency and even be willing to take the chance to meet for dinner and have a conversation and really get to know what's happening in her life. For the overthinkers out there, because I know y'all there. I know y'all are there. If you're what do I say when I meet someone? How do I even get to that deeper connection? It's really just about being curious, right? Being curious about people. And once you're curious about people, then you naturally ask questions that you're really interested in, and then you just return the favor by sharing how you feel about those certain things too. You never know what opportunities will come from just by being a good friend and just sharing your story. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Erica, I've already tried that before. I thought I had a cheerleader, but it was a fake cheerleader, okay? I thought I had an advice giver, but they were just jealous. I've heard all the things. I've been through all the things. I get it. I absolutely 1000% get it. Here's the thing. One, we have to recognize that people are in our lives for seasons, okay? And some seasons, we have to release them, okay? As you're growing, if the people around you aren't growing, naturally, things will get uncomfortable for them. That's okay. That's not your problem. That's their problem. Okay. And you can't let that hold you back from building authentic relationships that will support your journey. Because at the end of the day, to create this life by design that is countercultural, that is not normal, that is anti everything that comes with this hustle, success, materialistic culture, you're going to have to do some things, and it's going to be really hard in the beginning. At the end of the day, we can't do it alone. I'm telling you, I tried to do it alone. I tried to do it alone. And like I said, I got to the place where I was lonely, I wasn't supported, I wasn't motivated, all the things, okay? And you're going to hear more stories about some of those folks later on in the season. But what I'm telling you is that you need someone else. We are not meant to be individuals. We are not meant to do this alone. We're village type people, okay? We're meant to support one another. That's where we thrive. And your people are out there. Just because that last situation didn't work out, just because that person lied on you, just because that person was fake, I've been through all of those scenarios, okay? Just because that person didn't say your name in the room that you would have hoped they would have said your room in, that's okay. Because what did I say earlier? What God has for you is for you. 2 things I want you to end with this conversation. I want you to realize and really understand why you need these people in your life, okay? And 2, I want you to know where to go to find them. And also, these people need to be at a level ahead of you that inspires you. It is helpful to have peers that are doing it with you. That is going to happen along the way. But then also having people that inspire you, that maybe are just a little bit ahead of you, are also really amazing to bring into your orbit, okay? And so you're going to find those people by attending networking events, conferences, by doing the very things that you're interested in that your friends may not be down for. Those are where you're going to find your people. You're going to find them at the Owning It and Living It experience, okay? You're going to find them online, learning and trying to grow the same way you are. Here's your homework. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through that list of 4 roles: that cheerleader, that truth teller, that advocate, and that advice giver. And I want you to DM me which one that you are and which one you feel like you need in your life. Number 2, we're at the top of the year and everybody's trying to figure out what I'm going to do to accomplish my goals, where I'm going to go, how I'm going to do it. I want you to go to owningitandlivingit.com, and I want to see you in November at the Owning It and Living It experience so you can meet more like-minded people like you and me so that you can help to build your true, real support team. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.